Hey, this is Charlie with Barefoot Customs, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about the Kemp Keeper saddlebag gear net. Now, whether you have purchased one of these things and you're getting ready to figure out how to use it, or you're considering purchasing one and you want to know how to use it, this video is intended to tell you a little bit about how it's made, what it's intended for, and any useful tips and tricks you can use to put your gear in it. This one's on my Salsa pony Rustler, and it's custom colored to match the bike. And then I have this one over here. This one is on my El Mariachi, and it is also custom color matched to match my bike. The Kemp Keeper net is a bungee net designed around the relevant Viscacha saddlebag, but it works on many others as well, as the Pica, the Terrapin system. I've got them on J-Pack saddlebags. I've got them on Bedrock saddlebags, Ortlieb, and all kinds of different custom saddlebags. As long as it's got the same basic shape as the Viscacha bag, this net will work on it. So the Kemp Keeper is comprised of a bungee cord that is tied in one continuous strand with about 1 million different knots in it, surrounded by a perimeter cord and 8 of these accessory hooks that will hook to each other. So when you look at your Kemp Keeper, you're going to notice that there is a piece of shrink tubing. This is the front of the net. This piece is designed to go under the saddlebag and ride up against the seat post, and it's there to protect it from abrasion. Some nets will have a black piece of shrink tube, some nets will have a red piece. It just depends on what color it is. You're also going to notice that the back corners, this is where the net terminates. There's another piece of shrink tube right here that just basically protects the terminating knot where the netting stops. That's the rear of the bag. These other 2 accessory hooks, these hooks are removable and can be moved around, but they generally are placed in equal segments on both sides. So to put the net on, the first thing you want to do is grab the front of the net with the heat shrink. You want to slide it under the nose of the bag, and you want to take these hooks and you want to put them right up to the bottoms of your seat rail. Then you want to take the next set of hooks and you want to cross those over the top, and you want to let them snap back underneath the seat. Now, the next step is to grab both sets of rear hooks, stretch it back, and then crisscross your hooks over the back of the saddlebag. What that's going to do is give you an X pattern off the back, and that helps this to keep it from sliding off the back. So these nets are perfect for holding flip-flops, gloves, rain gear, hats, whatever you might want to put in them when you're on the trail, stuff that you take on and off a lot, stuff that you want to store externally because it's wet and it needs to dry out. These nets are really good for doing stuff like that. So you don't need to take the net off the bag in order to stow stuff in it. You want to leave the front attached pretty much all the time, and at least this rear hook that goes under the seat. So I'm going to demonstrate by I've got a set of water shoes, I've got a hat and a pair of gloves, and we're going to put them in there. So the net is already attached, your bag is full, and you're getting ready to go. All you really need to do is detach the 2 rear hooks, which will let it sag down. And you take your shoes, you slide them in there. Don't be afraid to stretch it, it's pretty tough. And then you bring them back up, hook them together, and you're good to go. On the fly, on the trail, if you want to stuff some gloves in there, just stuff them in there. They'll go in there and they won't fall out. Hat, we can get a hat in there too, I'm sure. Shove it in there. It's not going anywhere. Nice thing about it is this thing can bounce all over the place. Not going anywhere. Now, when you get to camp, some people take their whole bag off, some people don't. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the stuff out of the side. It's easy. Take the 2 rear hooks off, pull your crap out, get it out of the way. Now you can access your bag. You can get it in there. You don't have to undo the front and the middle hook to get into your bag. And if you decide that you're going to take it off your bag completely off, I would just leave the net hooked to the bike and take your bag off. You can leave it hang there, and then when you get ready to go, you just do the same thing in reverse. Now your rails are already hooked up. All you got to do is get your Revelet snaps done. Roll your bag back up. Grab your hooks. And once again, you're ready to roll. So let's talk a little bit about these hooks. These hooks are set up in two positions. You can have the clip on the outside, or you can have the clip on the inside. I like to have the clip on the outside. It makes it a little bit more challenging to hook them up because you got to peel this open in order to get it together. But then taking it off is a lot easier because it just slips out. If you have it on the inside here, it makes it real easy to hook up because you can just kind of push it in and it'll hook together. But getting it off is a little bit of a challenge because you have to depress the clip in order to get the hook off. So I like to have mine in the open position. These side hooks are another item on the net that is adjustable and can be changed. So these side hooks are really only put on there and looped into themselves. They can be removed completely, and as you can see, they're just a loop. So you can take these and loop them back through themselves, and you can put them on the net. If you find that they're in the wrong position and you want to put them someplace else, you could move them around. You could move it up a notch, you could move it up to the front. You can actually take it and wrap it around through and over one of the existing knots. If you're having a problem with your perimeter cord, you can do a lot of different things with them. You could put it down the back, whatever it takes. But they're easy to move. You just come right off. Now, one of the things you might notice when you use your net or when you pull it out of the box or when it sits for some time is sometimes these knots have a tendency to come loose. It doesn't matter. Nothing's going to happen to them. They're not going to come off. They just get a little bit loose. You'll see when I put this net on the bike, they'll tighten right back up. It's just the nature of it. They're just simple knots. They have a tendency to move around. You can move them back in place. You can tighten them up. But once you put it on the net, onto this bike bag, and you stretch it out, they'll go exactly where they want to be. And there you have it. And you see how those knots all pulled together nicely? I've had shoes in here. I've had gloves in here. I've had hats in here. I had 2 full kayak paddle blades in here. I even had a salami in here, but I lost the salami. It fell out of one of the holes. So that's the Kemp Keeper saddlebag gear net. I hope this video gave you all the tips and tricks you need to get the most out of your net. And if you have any questions, you can email us at barefootcustoms@aol.com, or you can Facebook me at Charlie Kemp or Instagram me at Chaz Rider. Everybody have happy adventuring and get out there and ride your bike.